Morning. Okay, I think we go ahead and get started just to respect everyone's time. And also, I know we have a lot of content to get through today. So welcome back, ladies. We are in our fourth training session today of the BIC Africa Acceleration Program for Women Entrepreneurs. We're super excited to have you with us again. So I'm Danielle. You know my face by now. You know the role that I play. And today we're welcoming one of our new expert trainers, Monica, and I'll give her an opportunity to introduce herself in just a couple of minutes. So our training session today is going to continue on the topic of finances that we started on last week when we were really looking at your personal finances and your attitude towards money. So today is really going to be about how will you manage your money and talk about financial management within your business and also investment readiness for those of you who are seeking to find investment either now or sometime in the future. So super important topic. Please pay attention as well as you can. I know for some of you, it can be a bit overwhelming to be talking about money again. You might feel like it's something that you're not maybe doing great in your business right now in terms of either earning money or managing money or even just keeping track of your finances. So we are here to support you in this process. Come with an open mind like you have been all of the weeks prior. And yeah, get ready to talk about finances again. So without further ado, I am going to hand over to our expert trainer today, Monica. And yeah, I'll be here in the background.
Thank you so much. Welcome, ladies. My name is Monica Mészáros. I'm from Budapest, Hungary. Budapest is the capital of Hungary, which is a small country in Central Eastern Europe. During my introduction, let me share my screen. Can you see it well? Thank you. So some words about me, because it's important for today to support you in the financial management and looking for investor procedure. But I'm also a mompreneur. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter called Sarah. She is half Hungarian and half Moroccan Berber. And we live in Budapest, which has 2.5 million people. And altogether in Hungary, we have 9.6 million Hungarians, so we are really a small nation. But what Hungary is famous about is the thermal bath opportunities, and we also have a lot of Nobel Prize winners. If you may have heard about Hungarians, you for sure already understood that Hungarian inventions are, for example, the Rubik Cube, the ballpoint pen, the vitamin C, and also the Word and Excel, which is quite interesting. Hungarians who moved to the United States invented the Word and Excel. We will work with them for sure also today. I specialized during my studies in international relations, and I had the chance to live in Finland and in Japan as well. And I completed my studies mastering in defense and security policy beside the internationalization activities. And I was working for the Hungarian government, supporting startups and SMEs at the background agency of the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Affairs. And then I was working also for a profit-oriented company. And then in 2014, I set up my own company, which is a consultant small company, providing support for applicants for EU funding opportunities. I'm also active in the NGO life because I'm among the founding members of the Union of Hungarian Women Association, and I'm supporting Budapest Enterprise Agency, South Trans-Danubian Regional Innovation Agency, and also I'm mentoring ladies and men in several topics, and I'm evaluating for the European Commission Green Deal projects under the Horizon Europe, which is the biggest innovation fund available for smart companies. For today, I would like to discuss two topics: financial management with you and also looking for investors. And here on the slide, you can see what will be the content. We will use the chat in order to have a more interactive way of discussion. So I just don't want to talk and talk and talk. I don't want to provide a heavy theory content, but rather I would like to give examples, real examples for you, how you can shape your financial management and how you can get access of funding opportunities through investors. Of course, the money is very important in not just the company's life, but in our everyday lives. There is a quote here: intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone, said by Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad book, which I found quite interesting one. So you can check it if you would like to listen for someone who really knows how to use in a clever way the money. So about financial management, there are a lot of information related to financial aspect of startups and small and medium-sized companies. Of course, what the first words are coming into our mind are debt, savings, tax, financial planning, and so on. But I would like just to listen for you for a moment. Please write in the chat box, what do you do in your financial management if we consider your company? Please write in the chat box what is coming first in your mind. I'm curious to understand. And I just let you to type in the chat box. So what do you do in your financial management at your startup, at your small and medium-sized company? I guess you have tools. I guess you have a decision-making process. Okay, so I'm waiting. Meanwhile, let me say a few words. Calculating cashing and cash outflow using Excel, super, coming from Marek. Excel sheet where I follow the expenses and the sales, Bolatiana. Solange is saying budgeting, analyzing of revenue and cost, and so on. Very good, ladies. Yeah, the financial management is a strategic planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of financial undertakings in an organization or an institute. Of course, it includes applying management principles to the financial assets of an organization, and while also playing an important part in fiscal management. For the startups, it's especially important to have a financial management structure from the point zero, because it is the area responsible for providing resources so that the entire operation can exist, can be sustainable at a later stage, and the company can operate in an efficient way. Of course, the goal is to properly manage the company's capital, to support the growth procedure, and you can already start to bet on new investments and expand its operation. There are 4 types of activities or elements commonly recognized under financial management: the planning, controlling, organizing and directing, and the decision-making itself. During the planning phase, you need to identify the steps that align with the business or individual objects. There are critical questions, of course, coming with this. Have you taken the time to properly establish your business goals and objectives? Do you know what your long-term plans are for yourself, your brand, and your staff? Each business goal, whether that's profit maximization, business growth, or expansion of service, will require financial management. And with each of the goals, there will be steps to get there. This includes, of course, financing, budgeting, either in an Excel table or in another form, allocating roles to each of the colleagues, customer research, and much more. Take some time to agree upon some measurable steps that you get towards your goal. The second one under financial management is the controlling. Ensure, please, that each aspect of the organization is following the established plan. You know the steps, but do you know that each part of the business is working to achieve the objectives? This isn't necessarily about cutting costs or determining redundancies. Rather, it is more about setting appropriate KPIs that can quantifiably lead to the organization goal. KPIs you have already heard concerning business model canvas. It's a very important point also in financial management. It's important to make sure any and all staff members are aware of the goals and their role in achieving the goal. The third element under financial management is the organizing. Decide on what resources are necessary to effectively carry out the plan. Resources don't just refer to material assets and tools. It expands over to staff, roles, budget, funding, technology, software, whatever you need in the operation of the startup or SME. You don't want to start implementing a strategy if you don't even have all the resources at the ready to get the ball rolling. And the fourth element of financial management is the directing and decision-making. I would say one of the most important one. Make choices after investigating all possibilities and options. Once you have established all alternatives and potential plans, decision makers must choose which alternative is feasible and matches with goals and objectives. Decision make will in fact coincide with the rest of planning, controlling, and organizing, as each element will need to be confirmed before moving forward with the plan. So the financial management is very important in your life because it will give you the opportunity to make a sustainable business and to make a sustainable revenue stream as well. The goals of the financial management, of course, to maximize current value, to avoid bankruptcy, to maximize profit, and to minimize cost. Also, there are roles under the financial management, the financial decision and control itself, the financial planning, the capital management, allocation and utilization of financial resources, cash flow management, which you already mentioned in the chat box. Some of you are already doing, which is very good. Disposal of surplus is another role in financial management, financial reporting itself, and the risk management. It applies management ethics to the financial resources of the company. This practice controls all the economic operations of an enterprise, like utilization of funds, procurement of funds, payment, accounting, risk assessment, and everything related to cash. Of course, you need to have tools, online tools or offline tools to reach your goals with the financial management. There are various accounting and reporting systems. If I'm not mistaken, in Africa, in your continent, there are profit books, Sage, Xero, QuickBooks, and Wave application, amongst others, as tools. There are expense tracking and budgeting tools. There are payroll management one, easy billing one, payment itself, tool for financial management, such as Stitch Money, Slide Financial, GEM, BrightCap, WalletTech. There are, of course, other tools such as inventory tracking, tax preparations, financial planning, and analyzing. Of course, I'm aware of the European Union situation, including Hungary, my own country, what kind of tools are available. But please, let me know what type of tools do you already use, and if you are satisfied with them or you have problem with a few. I let you know now working a bit in the chat, so please write me if you use already a tool and if you are satisfied with it. I'm waiting for some seconds. Maybe you are typing. And I go back to the slides so you can see what kind of examples I included in the slide. It may help you to formulate your answer. Solange has a billing solution. It was fine for the beginning. Now I'm moving for Odoo ERP, a more complete tool. Very good to know. Excellent. FreshBooks from Grace, also excellent to work with those. After a while, of course, an Excel sheet will not help you, but in the beginning, it's a very, very useful tool. Adae says, in my office, we use Sage, but the accountant is the one who handles it, so I guess it's working just fine. Yes, otherwise, I'm sure the accountant would provide for you a feedback. Good, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing with me this valuable information. And I'm sure it helps for others to choose what kind of tools to use in the future. What are the principles of financial management? Of course, we need to follow some rules and principles, and based on the principles, we should find consistency because transactions must be handled in a consistent manner. That is, policies and procedures have been established to address similar types of transactions in a routine manner. Of course, you can have an accountant, but if you don't have in the beginning, because in some countries maybe it's not a must, then you can do at your own, but be sure that transactions must be handled in a consistent manner. Otherwise, it will be a mess. You need to have in mind the timeliness. Transactions must be handled within a reasonable period of time, consistent with just time frames. Also, justification is very important because there must be a reason for the transaction that supports the project's goals and adheres to guideline outline. You need to consider documentation because sufficient documentation to support the transaction must exist. The documentation must be retained, organized, and complete enough to stand up to an audit. Of course, at a later stage, when you will attract a funding opportunity, it will be even more important to document everything because maybe an investor would like to see the complete procedure where the money was spent. Of course, certification is also important as transactions must be approved and carry all the correct authorizing signatures. Other understanding, the principles are reduce unnecessary spending. It's very important because you may find attractive an international conference at another country, a very, very interesting one, and you would like to travel. But then you check your budget and then you realize that it's an extra money, extra amount you didn't calculate for the recent business year. And then you would like to participate maybe online and do not spend for travel and accommodation. Also, you need to prepare a so-called emergency fund because it will help you if something unexpected is happening. Let's say you need to buy a new laptop because it's broken. It's an immediate and emergency fund. If available, then you can buy immediately in order to provide the product or service for the customers. You need to monitor cash flows. You need to use accounting software or have a bookkeeper who is using her or his own one. And of course, if you talk about financial management with someone, it will come up that raise sufficient funding is another principle you can have. Well, now we go to the exact work, because for today I brought some exercises in order to mobilize you. And now I would like to talk about the startup budget in some steps. And then I will ask you to consider your own budget and to work on your own budget a bit. And you can ask questions in the chat box. Well, if you start your budget, please cater your tools and set a target budget, either in Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel or whatever form it is appropriate, but this is the good basis for starting the activity. Then you can list your essential startup costs by grouping them to Group A and Group B. While Group A is the startup assets like one-time purchase of computers, furniture, vehicles, property, and so on. The B of startup expenses can be fixed or variable expenses, such as rent and payroll, usually tax deductible. Other costs include office space renting, organizing fees, trademarks, patents, and so on. Please break down each expense where possible, either to have it on a yearly basis or it's just an ad hoc cost. So for example, the web page creation occurs one time, while web host is in every year, and content management can arise in every month. After grouping the startup costs to this A-B structure, then you can determine your fixed costs. For example, rent of mortgage, payroll and benefits, business insurance, website hosting, internet, and phone services and bank fees. After determining the fixed costs, you can go to the estimation of the variable costs, which can be like raw materials cost, advertising spend, utilities, equipment, shipping costs, business income taxes, transportation, travel, and so on, including freelance services as well. After sketching these numbers on a paper or in an Excel, you can calculate your monthly revenue. How is your pricing look like? A bit later, I will also give you examples for exact pricing strategies, but I'm sure you already use some kind of pricing strategy. Meanwhile, excuse me, but ladies are writing in the chat that unfortunately they can't join for some reason, and I can see that there is an ongoing dropping in and out, so hopefully everybody can check back the recording at least. Well, so about pricing, we will talk about it later, but something you have in mind for sure. If you talk about pricing, try to project it in your startup budget in an optimistic projection and a conservative one. Why? Because it can fluctuate due to international activities and rate changes, continuous rate changes, or the raw material price is increasing meanwhile. So a lot of unexpected information can appear, and you need to repricing your product or services. So it's very important to calculate in an optimistic and conservative projection. Of course, there can be product or service sale, business or corporate credit card can be included, loans, savings, investment income, and so on and so on. These all will lead to one goal: to create a sustainable revenue stream. You were talking about the revenue stream when you had the business model canvas, so you are already aware of this revenue stream meaning. And here again, it's coming back because everything is connected to each other. And in order to implement a business plan, you need to plan your budget according to these simple steps. After all of these steps, tally up your total cost, then review and adjust if necessary from time to time. It's the best if you can go back every few months and check the whole budget and adjust where it's needed. You can even go back and label each item as must-have or nice-to-have and think of what to still include. As I have given an example, it's important, for example, that in the beginning you have an emergency fund in case you need to provide it immediately for something you need in order to provide the service for customers or to provide the product for customers. And also, as I have said, it's important to decide in the beginning whether, for example, an international travel is a must-have or a nice-to-have. In case you label all the items according to must-have or nice-to-have, you will be able to understand what is really priority first in your budget and how much money you need to operate the business. Now, I would like to show you another type of startup budget. And now I will just open it through a Word file because it will look better and it will be bigger. So then you can see the whole budget form. So let's say this is another type of understanding how a business startup costs can look like. It's allocating in the first brackets the fundings, in the second part of it the costs, and in the funding it considers investors amount, the loans and other funding options. It has an estimated column, an actual, and then it shows whether if it's under considered or over considered the result when each of the amount is there. And of course, there is a total amount at the end of each of the brackets. And then the second part is about the exact costs, and also related to the exact costs, you can have an estimated budget, an actual budget, and it will show whether it's under considered or over considered, underspent or overspent. And here it gives also some examples for a fixed cost, such as advertising, a basic website, broad development, down payment, tools and supplies, travel, vehicle, and so on and so on. Of course, please keep in mind what we discussed, that you can label them a must-have or nice-to-have ones. The average monthly cost can be advertising also, business vehicle insurance, for example, employee salaries and common cost, phone cost, travel cost, public utilities, website hosting, and so on. So there are different types of grouping of the costs. As I have said earlier, it can be grouped also like fixed and variable cost, and then you go under the cost brackets and make the groupings. Now I go back to the presentation. So you can see again the startup budget in 6 steps. And now we would have again some practical practical work, because I would like to ask you again to think of your budget at the company and consider whether you need to adjust a few items in it according to the given information. For example, would the label of must have and nice to have support your activities in the future? Whether you already prepare your budget according to fixed and variable costs, is there anything you forgot to mention there based on the examples I gave you? Please give some examples of your own cost or ask questions in the chat if you have any related to this startup budget. Or let me know if you need to adjust something in your own budget according to the instruction. So questions can come, and also if you already understand what you need to change in your budget. I was checking your profiles when I was preparing myself for today, and I may give some examples what I could see based on your profiles. For Kalkidian in Ethiopia, I could see that time to time there will be raw material purchased locally for the production of organ pesticides. This is at least my understanding. So it should be included in the budget, that's for sure. For Veni Joanna, I could see that including the utilities, the water consumption will be high for sure, because she's dealing with farming, and I'm sure every month the utility bill is including the watering. Meanwhile, of course, I'm sure she bought machines for processing the herbs, and I'm sure after a while she has to have a maintenance, so that can be not a fixed cost, but a cost which is appearing ad hoc from time to time, maybe not in every month, but once in every half a year. Solange is saying that she has to do a more comprehensive budget forecasting for growth. That's already good if you consider this step. Loniette Nina from Madagascar, I wrote for myself related to budget, to her budget, that I'm pretty sure that an expert fee is arising for specific training from time to time or in an ad hoc basis, because she's providing for entrepreneurs trainings, so guest speakers appears. That is what I understood, and she can include in the budget. Another answer in the chat is Adaes. For me, there will be training costs for new caregivers. There will be costs for medicals, police vetting costs, and due diligence costs, as well as costs for uniforms. Yes, and I guess the uniforms are one-time payment, but after a while, you need to change them. So you need to think of the future costs as well, or you can consider the repairment and include it in the budget. I consider that for Ruth from Senegal, the branding and marketing costs will be a bit high in the beginning, because she's dealing with a pioneer skincare. So I'm sure she's considering to work with influencers to pay for them to promote the skincare products. And also I noticed that as Grace is dealing with dealing with providing special school care in Nigeria, I'm sure accessories are always appearing in her budget, because from time to time she has to buy new accessories for the kids. As I have said, it's very important to sit and make a sketch as for your own budget and think of this, whether the costs are one-time costs or occurring in every month or in every year, and whether they are fixed costs or variable costs. As I have showed you, the other understanding is that you can group the costs according to estimated costs and make another column where you actually include the information, how was the actual price and how was the actual cost, for example, for the advertisement. And then you can see whether you were projecting more positive or more cautious type of behavior towards your estimation of the costs. If you deal with your startup budget, is already good starting point in order to involve at a later stage an investor or a business angel. And I will talk about it a bit later, how you can attract them into your business. Very well, thanks ladies for the answers. Now we would go further and discuss a bit the pricing strategies. It's a very, very important topic. It's of course included your budget also in some way, because according to the strategies, you will be able to price your product or service, and then you will be able to better understand if you can change it all of a sudden to another method, because it is working for you better. Good. About pricing. As you can see it on the slide, there are different types of pricing. I will talk about the pricing strategies, and then after talking about the exact strategies and for who it can be a solution, I'm also going to give you some examples based on your profile. I was checking what kind of pricing can be good for who, so I try to give you examples. So the penetration pricing aims to attract buyers by offering lower price on goods and services than competitors. It is best for businesses that want to build brand loyalty and reputation. For example, someone is selling for €100 a product and you start to sell for €95, then of course customers will buy from you. I noticed that this penetration pricing can be good for the partner, for the lady who is from Nigeria, Mrumu, because she's dealing with providing shea butter products. And I believe that penetration pricing can be convenient for her from time to time. The economy pricing is aiming to attract the most price-conscious consumers. Many businesses use this strategy, including generic food suppliers and discount retailers. It is best for businesses that want to keep their overhead costs low. And for example, budget airlines use this to fill empty seats when they have. According to my understanding, this pricing strategy can be good in South Africa for Colofeo Hoog. Sorry if I'm not spelling the name well, because she is from the retail industry and it can be priced according to this very well. The third one is the premium pricing. Basically, when businesses set costs higher because they have a unique product or brand that no one can compete with, it is the best for businesses with a competitive advantage that can charge a higher cost. For example, Tesla is doing this. The premium pricing is coming to my mind when I think of the Zimbabwe lady, Rutendo, who is working with blockchain and provide an IP protection platform for customers. I think she can use easily this premium pricing strategy. The price skimming is the next one. It's a type of pricing strategy, which is a dynamic one designed to help businesses maximize sales on new products and services. It involves setting rates high during a product's initial phase, then gradually lowering prices as competitor goods appear on the market. It is best for businesses that have products that are in high demand. There is an example. When tech companies introduce new technologies, they might benefit from increasing the price of an 8K TV when only 4K TV is available as a smart TV on the market. I think the price skimming can work for Hafsa from Somalia because she is active in the fashion industry, and the price skimming is used in the fashion industry in several companies. The psychological pricing, the good news that everybody can use this easily because it refers to techniques marketers use to encourage customers to respond based on emotional impulses rather than logical ones. So it's best for businesses aiming towards short-term goals and quick wins. Setting a price of a watch maybe at $200 is likely to attract $199 is likely to attract more new customers than setting it at $200. So it's only $1 less, but it attracts more customers. I think you can all use this type of psychological pricing. Then the bundle pricing. It's for small businesses sell multiple products for a lower rate than selling each item individually. Customers feel as if they are receiving more bang for their buck. Best for businesses that make a profit while offering a lower price than competitors. When a fast food restaurant, for example, makes buying a meal cheaper than purchasing each item individually. So the bundle pricing, according to my understanding, can be good for Handi in Somali because she is providing bookkeeping services and other financial services for customers, so they can easily make a group of nice service package. The geographical pricing is also good and convenient for all the businesses because it involves setting a price point based on the location where a product or service is sold. It's best for businesses that have markets in many different locations. Retailers or service providers who charge different prices in different states, in the United States, for example, but it can be related to the different countries in Africa. For example, a gym may charge a higher fee for membership in one country, while in the other one, they are charging more the customers. It is applicable for all of your services and products in case you have it in many countries available. The promotional pricing, the competitive pricing strategy, one of the competitive pricing strategies is the promotional pricing, offers discounts on a particular product. These strategies are common during a holiday period. It's best for businesses that want to generate quick demand for their products or services. When, for example, a retail store implements a buy one, get one campaign during a holiday or a weekend or like Black Friday, it can work very well. And this is also working for all types of products and services at a certain period of the year. The value pricing is a way of setting your prices based on your customers' perceived value of what you are offering. It occurs when external factors like a sharp increase in competition or a recession encourage the small business to further provide additional value to its customers to maintain sales. It's best for businesses that specialize in subscription-based service providing and pricing. For example, a fashion company may produce a product line of high-end dresses and sell for €1,000. They then make umbrella that they can sell for €100. The umbrella may cost more than the dresses to make. However, the dresses are set a higher price point because customers feel as though they are receiving much more value for the product. This value pricing, for my understanding, can be good for the fashion industry, so for Hafsa in Somalia. The next one is the captive pricing. Is used to attract a high volume of customers to a product intended for a one-time purchase. The method behind captivate pricing is to generate profits from added accessories that complement your core product. It's best for businesses that have a product that customers will continually renew or update. For example, if there is a company who is selling a razor, then customers are buying one time the razor, but then every month, for example, they purchase another razor blades to replace the existing one. So this can be good for my understanding for Gianna in Comoros, because they sell soaps. And I think if they also offer special massaging gloves, for example, then people are buying the massaging gloves one time, and then they need the soap every month or every several months to be bought in order to use the massaging gloves. The dynamic pricing is the next one. It's happening when you charge different prices depending on who is buying your product or service or when they buy it. It's a flexible pricing strategy that considers many factors, particularly changes in supply and demand. It's best for businesses looking to maximize their profit margins and boost declining sales. A good example of dynamic pricing comes from the airline industry. If you have ever noticed, the flight prices can change depending on when you book. So, for example, if you book on Tuesday, it's usually cheaper during the day than if you would book during the weekend period. The dynamic pricing can be good for Joel in Malaga, because they provide an inclusive academy for people. And if they have only 2 places left for a special occasion, a special training, they can use this dynamic pricing, make it more exclusive. The competitive pricing is when your prices either match or beat your competitor's similar product. Often this simply means selling your products or services at a lower price. But you could offer better payment terms instead, best for small businesses that are just starting out. For example, in the United States, Amazon will compare the prices of products sold on its platform and utilize that information to offer the lowest price in the market. Also, the tech industry is using it from time to time, Apple and Samsung. For my understanding, this competitive pricing can be attached to Comora for Bakar Bako, because she's dealing with a dairy product, and for example, they can sell products for bigger company for a different competitive pricing, and for individuals for a different price, but also for tech companies. So also it can be appeared in the pricing strategy of the IP protection platform with blockchain in Zimbabwe for Rutendo. The next one is the cost plus pricing, which is a strategy of marking up the cost of services and goods by adding a fixed percentage to arrive at your selling price. It's best for businesses with a cost advantage. And for example, grocery stores and supermarkets work on this cost plus basis to determine the prices of items such as eggs or milk. Often these businesses will purchase from a wholesaler or producer and then apply a markup price for the products sold at their store. And this can be good for Maria in Angola, who is dealing with dried fruits. If they have a store, they can easily attach this cost plus pricing in their pricing strategy. And the last one is the freemium pricing. The freemium pricing is a strategy that combines both free and premium pricing. Usually a service or product is given to a customer free of charge unless they want to access premium features or services within that product. It's best for businesses that offer free and paid versions of that product. It's like free apps that require customers to pay a premium price if they want to have an ad-free experience. Also, online magazines and newspaper subscription only give you a certain amount of free articles unless you pay for an unlimited access. This freemium pricing can be good for Gabioso in South Africa, as they are a consultant entity. They may write free blog articles about certain financial topics, and then the customers can get access of paid services as well. Good. Now I'm curious, what do you think about the pricing? And I just go back to the slide to show you the different pricing methods. And I ask you to write in the chat what kind of pricing you think it's valuable for your company, or let me know what you use and if you would like to change for another one based on the instructions. I'm curious to understand who would like to change based on the instruction. I try to make examples, so almost all of you got valuable information. Meanwhile, you can also ask me in the WhatsApp group or by email, and I will be happy to support you to find the best pricing strategy tailored to your company. I'm waiting a bit whether someone is writing in the group chat related to pricing strategy, what they use or what they would like to use. Promotional pricing for Ruth. Good. So Ruth is using the promotional pricing at the recent moment. Hamdi, the cost plus pricing. Good. Jihain is saying penetration pricing, but I should improve and use captive pricing as you suggested. Yeah, it's a practical information. I'm happy that you liked it. Mbola Tiana is saying, for me, it's now penetration pricing. I want to go through value pricing as we are promoting the fact that women can also work on furniture production. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you very much, ladies. If you may have question at a later stage related to pricing, just let me know. Now, related to the financial management, there's an action time. If you think of your own budget and if you think of your own pricing, would you change anything now again in your budget? Because as we went further with the pricing, do you think it can change your budget? You can think it through. You may have an increasement in the revenue if you will use another pricing strategy. Your revenue stream can become more sustainable. Meanwhile, Calcidian wrote that their pricing strategy is cost plus profit type, and now they may use the penetrating pricing. Good, the pesticide factory, yeah. Okay, ladies, if you don't think that you will change anything at this stage in your budget or projection to have a more positive one, and also in order to have a sustainable revenue stream, an even more sustainable revenue stream, I just would like to give some practical information still concerning financial management. Yeah, Jihain is saying they have a better and consistent budget and keep follow up. Yes, check it back, adjust, check it back, adjust, and that's the procedure. You will succeed to handle the money well and in an intelligent way. So you can see, related to financial management, my practical tips are included in the slide. As Jihain said, keep up the following. It's one of the elements to constantly monitor the cash flow. You need to be organized. Do not mix personal accounts with the company accounts. You need to make forecasts for future scenarios, positive projection, and not that positive one can be attached also in your budget. You need to perceive possibilities to grow, adopt useful indicators, also adopt innovative management methods, use a consulting accountant to perform the control activities, and use technology. It's very important because then you can update and be unified. The team should be aligned, dynamic, and focused. Common mistakes in the financial management. Usually startups underestimating the ongoing operational cost. 64% of entrepreneurs reported having unexpected costs in the business, so you need to be cautious of this. Making unnecessary purchases or expenses in business, acquiring too much debt at the onset, mispricing product or services, so the pricing will support you, not to have a mispricing activity, not budgeting and saving, no proper bookkeeping and accounting. When you feel there is the time to change, please do that. Mixing personal and business bank accounts, that's also leading to negative effects, and not researching taxes and their business implications. Now I would like to ask you to think a bit of your business model lean canvas. In the costs and revenue section, you discussed this with Crystal earlier. Do you think you already have the power, based on this information, to change anything in the business model lean canvas related to costs and revenue? And I'm just checking the chat box if there is any information coming from you. It's already good if you start to think of this, and then at a later stage, if you are, for example, included in the mentoring process of the BIC Africa 2024, you can work on this and adjust it with the mentor based on the pricing strategy, based on the budgetary questions, and so on. I'm waiting a bit if someone is writing in the chat box if she would like to change any item in the costs or revenue stream included in the business model lean canvas. If not at this moment, you can think of it at a later stage. You will have all the slides and also accompanying documents from my side. Ruth is saying that she will change the revenue stream. I'm very happy because I'm sure you are on the path towards a sustainable revenue stream with this adjustment. Thank you, ladies. So now we would like to introduce you a few slides about the looking for investors procedure, because we believe that you may find this information also supporting one at your business. And if you are not yet looking for an investor, at a later stage, it can be useful for you and handy. So the pure fact related to looking for investors is the following. Out of 10 startups, 4 will fail, 4 will survive, and only 2 will thrive. So this is a number which is not quite promising. So that's why we believe it's very important to talk about looking for investors and what kind of useful tools you can have in your hand to attract them, if, of course, you need. What they are looking for: proposition, team, market demand, solution, scalable, feasible, exit potential, coach and advice. It's a mix what they are looking for. And believe me, the investors have a sixth sense of finding the biggest risk at your company, at your startup, or at your SME. And they would like to see whether you are aware of that risk and how you handle it. So if you can answer that during the pitch for an investor or a business angel, it's already half of the success. The screening is called due diligence, what investors are usually doing at companies, and it consists of high-level components. They check the board shareholders, the team and the values, and also whether the product is innovative or the service, what is the market access option, the scalability and protectability, it's very important, the IPR protection, the business model and financials, the valuation and terms, And of course, they consider the exit perspectives. The common eligible criteria are on the slide. They usually are looking for disruptive solutions to address the need for a sizable target with sufficient purchasing power, a technical proof of concept done or prototype to be completed, or in case the product or service is already 100%, then they would like to see the growth potential. They expect a high growth in turnover, at least 2 times more turnover per year. And they are looking for long-term peak sales ambition, usually more than 10 million euro. They check the entrepreneur readiness to include investors into the startup governance. Usually they become shareholders. And they would like to have an exit scheme clear, which is less than within 7 years for the investors itself. The funds should go to a specific development stage, so they would like to clearly see what is the status quo and where the company is leading to with its activities. And they would like to see clear deliverables that will increase the startup value. You can see in the next slides the common sources of funding and the type of investors. The first stage is the seed, when the amount raised is up to 200,000 euro. This is the seed phase. Usually family and friends can provide an amount, or founders himself or herself. And here the customer suppliers can be, let's say, a type of investor, and prizes grants are available and crowdfunding platforms. Also, business angels can step at this phase, but business angels rather provide their amount, which is to be allocated to a startup, which is requiring between 200,000 euro and 2 million euro amount. After this, here also the venture capitalists and strategic investors step in the picture. And the next phase is between 2 and 5 million euro, where banks are usually can provide a support, and also the strategic investors and venture capitalists. And there is an expansion phase greater than 5 million. Of course, banks are still there, and the strategic investors and venture capitalists. Also, it's including families, but of course, it can be different, and I myself do not aware of such families with this amount who can allocate it within the family more than 5 million euro. So I would say it's quite rare, sure, also at your continent. That's why I believe the crowdfunding can be more interesting for you. And there are different crowdfunding models. You know that there are online sites where you can raise amount thanks to crowdfunding for a specific action of your company. So usually the crowdfunding is for a specific action or development, or you would like to launch a new product or service. There is the equity-based for financial return type of crowdfunding, sale of registered security by mostly early-stage firms to investors. There is the reward-based type of crowdfunding for non-monetary rewards. Donors have an expectation that recipients will provide a tangible but not financial reward or product in exchange for their contribution. There is the lending-based crowdfunding model for financial return. That's a debt-based transactions between individuals, mostly unsecured personal loans. And there is a donation-based crowdfunding for philanthropy or sponsorship. No legally binding financial obligation incurred by recipient to donor. No financial or material returns are expected by the donor. So there are different crowdfunding sites where you can raise an amount to your company. When you look for an investor at the first stage, as I have shown in the slide, the business angels are coming at a first stage. They are entrepreneurs, usually have a working, they are working with entrepreneurs, usually have a working concept already done, about to have a pilot clients, have created already the company, are a team of 2-4 founders maximum with 1 full-time on the project, and are looking to raise between this 200,000 euro and 2 million in the coming 4-6 months. First, they do the screening, they ask the business to pitch, then there will be the business due diligence phase, the screening, then they negotiate the value and the terms, and then preparing for closing this business. The exit, what they would like to see, is usually within 5-7 years after first external financing the startup. Types of exits are, for example, sales of startup to a larger company, sometimes sales of share to owners, acquisition by venture capitalists or business angels, rarely through an IP, intellectual property. How you can find the business angels? In your surroundings, at the accelerators and banks. The business angels are private individuals who invest their own money. Usually startups like to work with them because it also requires a personal click with the investor. And the business angels usually use 2 or 10% of their personal wealth to invest in. Why they do it? Of course, to make money, but also they like to mentor companies and to socialize and to acquire entrepreneurial track. How you can look for investors? You can look for investors online and offline. One very good tool is the LinkedIn. I'm sure you also have LinkedIn profiles. There you can identify investors easily who share the same passion with you. So you can find groups, for example, and you can contact them. I also suggest to expand your circle by asking for introduction. Start to build a relationship with business angels and venture capitalists, because everybody knows everybody in those circles. So if you introduce yourself to one, they will introduce you to others. It can be also that you go for a geographical group or another type of group, like female founder groups. You join for them, you go to their boot camps and so on, and then you get into the conversation with the business angels face to face. Please, instead of asking for a general introduction, do your homework before you ask this introduction and you start to reach out, and make sure you are asking the introduction to the investors who have a track record of investing in your industry, because if he's not doing that, he will not give you his time. Let your introducer know the reason why you are asking for a specific investor, and have an email ready to forward it to your introducer. We call this a one-pager. Why it's important to have it already at your email? Because if you meet someone and you react fast and send your one-pager, they will remember you, and if they can't help you, then they will for sure connect you with the right person, because they know each other, even if they are coming from different sectors. So the one-pager. As I have said, it's very important. You can already prepare it and then have it in your email and send it right at the moment when you would like to introduce your company. It's usually containing not only text, but some information in either a table or in graphics version. But please be sure that you say a few words about your company, the mission and values, the financial progress in the last year. You can include some client testimonials, and you can have a strategic outlook for the future, like key strategic priorities included. Of course, you can compare yourself with competitors, and you can include some nice photos about how your product or service is more innovative and why you think you will be able to reach an increasement in the growth and in profit in the future. Of course, you can also include performance snapshot, revenue, number of candidates working for your company, adjusted net income, and so on and so on. So please think of how you can reshape your one-pager. If you already have, please be sure that it's not just containing text, but photos and other personal items, because that can make the instant click in one of the investors. If you haven't done it yet, please start to prepare your own one-pager, because it's very important to get access of the right investors. If not now, then at a later stage. Meet the investors where they are. Basically, it can be industry trade shows, conventions, hackathons, co-working places, and so on. And get involved more in your community, because the local business usually have some kind of chamber of commerces, or the schools have alumni, guest speakers. So you can go there, meet other potential business partners and friends who will introduce you to someone. You can also check NGOs and other groups, either online or offline. Also, please check whether your friends or family can support you, because sometimes we don't think of a family member who may be interested in our product or service, but they can be involved as a potential investor in the beginning phase of the startup or company. Of course, there are artificial intelligence tools to find the investors and funding opportunities. So it's a good news that you can find online also information. There are a few platforms on the slide. They all use either artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms, and they all help to find investors. You can search according to different criteria. So there are databases under these platforms, and they are analyzing large volumes of data, and they provide emerging trends, investment opportunities, and potential risks as well. Tips to be successful from my side: increase traction. The only thing that always attracts the investors' attention is traction. Because if people buy your product, it means you are onto solving a real problem for a real market. Achieve target outcomes. Executing your business plan to achieve target outcomes in your planned time horizon is the best way to gain interest and funding. Obtaining revenue is essential, of course, but showing an ability to plan and execute against the plan, remaining flexible and adjusting as required from time to time, demonstrates predictability for the investor. Be clear about financial goals. It is critical to put forth what problem your product service is going to solve, how it is different from others, competitors. A well-thought-out plan for growth, highlighting the skills and experience of your team, with few successful past exist. Demonstrate your company value. Of course, you want to talk about the product, but rather, please try to concentrate on talking for an investor about what kind of problem you solve with your product or with your service. What result could they expect? When you master the answers for these questions, customers and investors will better understand. Know your market and your team. Investors view your startup as a private stock purchase, one may aspect is what is your total addressable market and how much of it can you garner. The second aspect is the team, their passion, and how much they bring their skin in the game. Present a solid business plan with a strong return on investment forecast, showcase your unique value proposition. You also discussed this with Crystal during the business model canvas work. Prioritize your mission, please. Build a diverse team, demonstrate market demand, provide a solid business plan with strong return on investment projections, establish trust, leverage your network, and anticipate and provide solutions for risk concerns to steal confidence. Discuss the trajectory of your company. Market factors and how a company compares to its competitors will also be important through the road to users, and profitability are the most important areas of interest for investors. The ability to demonstrate the trajectory of the company is at utmost importance. Show your company's growth through storytelling context, because investors would like to listen a personal story which creates a buzz which warms their heart. Define the problem and how you solve it. As we have discussed, it's crucial to clearly define them and the solution as well, because they are familiar with it. Emphasize your growth opportunities. Show a detailed business plan, including the growth opportunities, potential for sales, and the expansion of startups. Utilize your network. Express your passion for building a sustainable business. Your pitch will always change, but the passion about the problem you are solving and the ability to execute and build a sustainable business remain always the same. You can integrate subscription-based models. It's quite trendy, and investors are looking for this type of investments at the moment. Understand your product and what sets it apart. So the business model and its viability is the key point here. You need to show that your idea has an excellent and distinct differentiator. Describe your company and its value in 2 sentences. I'm sure you have heard about the elevator pitch. If you have a few minutes with someone unknown and you need to pitch your company, investors hear tons of pitches and have short attention spans. So you should have 2-3 core sentences with numbers, not just information, just numbers also including in the text. And you should be able to describe your company, making sure to describe the value proposition and differentiation, your company products, and also the problem you solve. Of course, there are critical questions here as well. Do you need an investment at this stage? If so, how much would you need and exactly for what? Are you aware of the risk of a potential investor would have to invest in your company? As I have said, if you understand the risks related to your activity, product, service, and company, and you already answer it to the investor during the pitching, it's half of the success, because then they understand that you are aware of the full picture related to your activities and company. I would say if you have time, you should do a bit of homework after this presentation, because either you have your own one-pager according to the answer, of course, including information, or you don't have, you can sketch it from point 0 based on the explanations, but it's very handy to prepare it or to adjust it, because when you will meet someone from who you can ask an introduction for a potential investor, you can help immediately for the investor to understand your company and services by sending this one-pager by email. So please have it ready at your hand. Now I'm checking the chat if you may have a question related to this looking for investors part. I'm happy to answer it right now. And I'm waiting for some moments. Of course, also at this phase, if you don't have a question at this moment, but something is coming to your mind during the BIC Africa 2024 program, I'm at your help. So please just send me an email or send me a WhatsApp message, and I will be happy to share with you my answers for your question. I'm waiting still a bit. Maybe someone is writing. So please be sure that as a homework, you prepare your one-pager. Also, if you are included in the mentoring process, it's a very good opportunity to discuss it with the mentor, with the selected mentor, and reshape it. So you will have a nice introductory email which can be sent for a business partner. Solange is saying, I have a project for development and online platform with marketing services, training and marketplace. And for it, I'm considering financing options. Yes, if you want to expand either to go to another country or to provide your services online, maybe at another continent, it's very easy to find investors, because also there are European investors who are looking for business opportunities in Africa. So that can be a very important step towards your bright future. Ladies, it was my pleasure to support you this quite long training, I would say. I hope it was not boring, and it was providing for you valuable information. And hopefully you can involve funding opportunities and also investors at a later stage, if not now. My conclusion is for today: entrepreneurship requires having the right mindset. Trusting yourself is my advice to bear in mind. You are all super ladies. You are participating at this BIC Africa 2024 project. You were selected because your product or service is valuable on the market. So please be sure that your financial management is kept accordingly. And also, in case you would like to attract a funding or an investor, just use my slides. It will be saved at the Google Drive platform. And I just give the option. You may have a question to check it. If not at this moment, I will give back the floor to the EBN colleagues and to Danielle. And I thank you very much for your attention and active attitude in the chat box. And I'm going to send you my email address because a colleague has just asked it, so you have it. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much, Moni, and thank you, ladies, for your attention. I know it was a lot of things to take in today and apply into your businesses. So do take time to check in the recording. I know some people also had some in and out challenges, so do look in on the recording if necessary. And Moni has just put her email address into the chat. So in case any of you have more questions or something comes up later, then please do feel free to reach out to her or to your mentor if you are paired with someone. So I'm aware of the time, so let me just kind of wrap up very quickly and let you know what's coming next. So next week you have another coaching session with me. This one is going to be different than the previous two. I am not going to come with any prepared content. Instead, it's your opportunity to tell me what you're going through. So in order to prepare for our next session, I want you just to send me an email. We're going to be working on your individual challenges, whatever they might be. So maybe it's something specific in your business. Maybe there's something you've learned over these past weeks that you're unsure about, or that you need clarification on, or that you've tried and you need some feedback on. Or maybe it's something internal around confidence or money mindsets, or whatever it is that you feel is currently holding you back in business. Please share it with me via email, and then I'll be addressing you in turn during next week's coaching session. So we'll come on live, we'll do video, I'll get you to chat to me, and we'll just tackle whatever it is that you're experiencing in this moment. So the only requirement is that you send me an email to Danielle@stephandstone.com with the issue that you would like us to tackle. The deadline for this is Monday, the 10th of June at 12 p.m. East Africa time. That allows me to review all of your questions, to prepare for them, and to make sure that I have any resources that you might need on Tuesday. If you don't send in an email, we'll come to you at the very end of the session. If there's still time and we're active and present, then we can answer your questions then. So I really would like you to send me an email in advance to really prepare for that, okay? Next thing, because we're already halfway through the program, Christina has shared a request for feedback with all of you via email. Your opinions are super important to us so that we can know, what do you like? What do you don't like? There's still an opportunity to make changes if necessary. So please do take an opportunity to spare 5-10 minutes of your time and fill in that feedback questionnaire for Christina and the EBN team and the BIC Africa team, and submit that by this Friday, the 6th of June. Then finally, for those of you who have been selected for mentoring, which is all of you who applied for mentoring, your introductions, if you haven't been introduced already, will be taking place also by the end of this week. So keep an eye out in your inbox for a message from the BIC Africa team introducing you to whomever it is that you've been matched with, and then you'll be able to set up your first meetings from there. But as always, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, let us know either by email or in the WhatsApp chat over the coming days. Okay. So that's it. We'll see you again next week at the exact same Zoom link at the exact same time. And remember, please, to send in your barriers by email to me so that we can tackle those together in our next session. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Monica and BIC Africa team.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.